Next, we've got here service firms, production and provision of services, intangible output, simultaneous production and consumption, labor, intensive direct interaction with customer and employees, quality is perceived, site selection is very important. Any questions on the site firm descriptions? Any one of these you don't understand? Yeah, the quality is perceived. Yeah, if you think about airlines, well, how do you say, is it high quality or low quality? It's a perception. It is people perceive it. You can't measure it, right? It's more, even if you try to measure it, you will measure perceptions. Do you see? So, but if you think about products, you can measure it directly. Its weight, its, is it breakable, is it fragile, and you can do all types of measures. Okay.
Site selection is very important.
Site selection is very important. If you provide service, your location is very important, critical. But if you make product, it doesn't matter where your manufacturing is. For example, where is Hania manufacturing facility? It's outside the city, and it's like in a remote area because they produce and then they distribute everywhere. But if you're an airline, you have to have your offices in all of the important streets, right? Designing the services organizations are not necessarily large. You can have a small service organization. They're often small locations. They're always close to the customer. Service organizations, they require technical core employees close to the customer. Do you know what I mean by technical core? Yes. You need to have people who are smart, do you see? And they're knowledgeable about the business, right? And they will be close to the customer, right? If you think about airlines, all the people in airline industry, they're all knowledgeable about ticketing, about boarding, about luggages, about, maybe pilots, flight attendants. All of these people, they should be knowledgeable about how this works, and they need to be close to the customer. Service customers interact directly with the technical employees. So people who provide the services, they directly contact technical people there, because they interact with the customer, interact with the technical in order for the process to work, for the customer to be happy. The skills of technical employees need to be high, right? Maybe if you go to a manufacturing facility, maybe some people, their job, take a chicken, cut the chicken, move the chicken, take next chicken, cut the chicken, you see. So maybe their job doesn't require that much skill. Even though cutting chicken is not, it requires some skill, but, in comparison, it's not as much. Employees needs knowledge, awareness, interpersonal skills. You have to have interpersonal skills when you deal with customers, right? So most of the services require some people to have people skill. How many people have good people skill? Good. How many people have very poor people skill? Wow. What is this? So we've got this people skills. Decision making is often decentralized. So in services, you need to have more decentralization. Why? Because you need to take the decisions close to the customer. Next, we've got this non-core departmental technology. So this is the other non-core departments. Do you guys remember non-core departments? We talked about HR, accounting, R&D, and so here every department in an organization has a production process. We've got variety, frequency of unexpected and novel events, and then analyzability, ability to apply standard procedures. We've got some routine and non-routine actions. Do you guys know what's a routine action? Yeah, routine action is action you take every time, very frequently. For example, at the end of the month, you pay people salaries. Okay, maybe at the middle of the month, if someone wants to go on absence, they have a procedure, you apply it on them. Maybe it's a routine. If someone suddenly did not come for 6 days consecutively and with no information where they are, that's a non-routine. And then here we start to see the idea of variety, how frequent these unexpected happen. Every day, every month, twice a week. Analyzability, ability to apply standard procedure. So can we do the same procedure every time, or every time it breaks? That's analyzability. So if we look at these, we've got this matrix. This is analyzability, this is low, this is high. And variety, this is low, and here we've got high. So let's start with this one here. These people here are craft. Do you know what we mean by craft? Like artists. Do you know people who do art?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to art, this type of job, if you think about it, is there a big variety or a small variety? Well, we're talking about you perform a specific art. You see, it becomes very low variety in that area. And how much procedures you have to follow? Very low procedures. Just make it something nice. That's the rule. Do you see? So if you're going to make an art, this is how you take the brush, this is how you use it, and then you make it, the steps, whatever you like. Not a lot of variety, and not a lot of analyzability. Same thing if you do trade, buy and sell. Easy, buy and sell. Fine, good manufacturing, that's when you do something that is very fine and you manufacture. Any manufacturing. Now, if you think about these are also low variety. Sales, you sell one product. How often will you find difficulties? Not very often. But it needs some analyzability. You need to understand how to find the customer, what to talk to the customer, where's the customer at. So there is a procedure, and it can be sophisticated in order to sell and sell more, right? Same thing for any clerical, drafting, and auditing job. You guys know an auditor? People check the accounting. It's a very long procedure, but it's easy. You just check it if it's yes or no. That's it. On the other hand, we've got here in the other side the high variability. If you talk about strategic planning, there can be a lot of problems in strategic planning. Very frequent. Do you see? But the process itself is small. But what is unexpected can be a lot. Same thing for applied research or social research. Okay. On the other hand, here you've got this high variety where you have a lot of unexpected. Plus, it requires a lot of procedures. So here, if you take, for example, legal case, a crime. This is unexpected, very high variety. And at the same time, it is very long procedure. That's very high analyzability. And the same thing with all of these. Any questions on these? This is engineering. This is routine. This is craft. This is non-routine. Let me take a question. If we're talking about engineering, that would be high variety and high analyzability. True or false?
True.
True, good. If we're talking about high analyzability and low variety, we're talking about routine. True. If we're talking about some high variety and low analyzability, we're talking about craft.
False.
False. We're talking about non-routine. You guys are amazing. Here, if we look at each one of these, same craft, non-routine, engineering, and routine. If you look at here, we've got how is the structure. This is more organic. This is mostly organic. This is more mechanistic, and here we've got mostly mechanistic. Do you see? If you go here into tax accounting, example, tax accounting, there's a lot of rules, formalizations, centralization, formal training. You can't be a tax accountant without being certified. You need to have some sort of a span. You need to have some 2-3 assistants, and you need to have some written and verbal communication. And it's very mostly mechanistic structure. Are you guys okay with this? So here in this slide, it shows you how, depending on your business operations or process or technology, core technology, how you need to design your company. Okay. Workflow interdependence among departments is the extent to which departments depend on each other for resources or materials. Do you think it's is it normal that one department depends on another department in the work? Very normal. But you want to see to what level? It's too much or too little? Low interdependence means departments can do their work independently. If you don't depend on the next department, then you can do it alone. If you have high interdependence, it means every department depend a lot on the other one here. Now, from that perspective, we need to look at this. If you go to the bank, you have a lot of cashiers. Does each cashier depend on the other cashier? No, everyone is separate. Think about an assembly line. Here, if you go to the restaurant, does each department depend on the other? For example, these people make the chicken, these people make the soup, make the salad, and then you take from here to get to the customer. You need to have the waiter there to deliver, and you need to have the bus guy to clean. Do you see? So more like a process. Now, if you think about a hospital inside the operation room, 4 doctors. This guy cut, this guy opens, this guy, insert, this guy pulls. You see, they depend very much on each other. They can't do it alone, right? So here it talks about the communication level. Here, low communication, medium, high. And here look at the type of coordination. Here they have rules and procedures, a plan and a schedule. And here they have a mutual adjustment, cross-departmental meetings and teamwork. And on the other hand, here we've got priority for locating units together. Here it's low, medium, very high. Do you know what we mean by high? They have to be all in one operation room. Sometimes they tell you inside the hospital, they have to make the room for operation, next to it the IC, and above to it the X-ray, and below it the analysis and the laboratory on the end of the why. It all has depend on each other. You see, so that's the nature of this operation. Structural priority and implications. Reciprocal interdependence should receive first priority. Reciprocal activities should be grouped together. Poor coordination will cause poor performance. Organizations should be designed to address interdependence. So, in your company, you need to see how each one depend on each other. How close should we make them? How much communication they should do together. Do you see? Inside the hospital, they tell you every 7 o'clock in the morning, all the doctors get together and they agree. Because they work on a team. We have this operation, we'll have 2 of us will go there, 3 of us will do that. You see, it has to be a team. Inside the bank, everyone has to be there at 7, but they deal with each one separately. They don't have to do a teamwork, rather, they all follow the same procedure. Do you see? And here I show you the coordination for interdependence. Interdependence is reciprocal new operation, how these depend on each other. Or maybe here sequence, this depends on this and this depends on this, like what happens inside the restaurant. You cut a salad, you mix the salad, you spice the salad, you deliver, so it's a step by step. Or maybe a pool, this is like the cashier, where everyone serves the customer. Here they need rules, they need more vertical communication, and here inside the hospital they need to have cross-functional teams. So they need to have a team for each patient maybe. And impact of technology on job design. Do you have questions? The impact of technology on job design is technology impact. We've got job design and organization, job design, simplification, rotation, enrichment, enlargement. Do you guys know all of these concepts? Do you remember them? Job design is what's the job. Remember, if we're talking about this guy, their job, take the salad and spice it. Spice, just put the spices on the... Do you see? So your job design is what you need to do. Simplification, so you can make it simple, so it's understandable and easy. Rotation is someone else take your job, you take someone else's job. Enrichment, you give me more. I don't like to take the salad and spice it. Maybe I spice the salad and I decorate it. So you say that's maybe more rich job. Enlargement, I do maybe 2 or 3 jobs together. Okay. Enrich, you make it more rich, maybe more responsibility, more creativity, more. Do you see? We talked about the salad, you may decorate. You're talking about, let's say, the secretary signs the checks. Guard, you also approve, let's say, licenses. Socio-technical systems model. Some people say, you can't look at the company as manufacturing. You need to look at the people also. Remember, any company is a social system. Do you guys know what's a social system? A social system, it means inside the company, it's not just we need to get together and talk with each other. And here it says the social system, individuals, teams, behavior, organization, team culture, management, style, degree of communication, openness, individual needs and desires. So it says all of these are examples of the social system. On the other hand, we've got the technical system, and the technical system talks about the importance of what type of technology. Small, batch, mass, the level of interdependence, are we all pooled, sequential or reciprocal, physical work settings, what's inside the work settings, complexity, analyzability, variety, what type of raw material we deal with, and the time pressure. And both of these can design a joint optimization. Work rules, tasks, workflow, goals, and values, skills and abilities. Do you guys agree to this? If you're a manager, which one is very important to focus on? The social dynamics of people or the technical dynamics of the system? Both, right? In order to do some sort of a optimized. For example, you want the people to have nice, good time together, and at the same time they do a good job. And this is the end of the chapter. It talks about design elements. And the essentials here, as key research notes, technology, structure can be co-aligned. So remember, strategy, structure, technology. Service technologies differ in a systematic way from a manufacturing technologies. We talked about how a service airline is different than a manufacturing, let's say a soft drink. Important to apply the correct management style to a department. So you want to see what is this department and what management style we apply. And interdependence. Remember, do you depend on each other? Is it a sequential? Is it pooled, like a bank cashier, everyone is separate? Or is it like a hospital where it's reciprocal? Amount of communication is different. If you're all inside an operation room, 5 people, so reciprocal communication, highly dependent, you have very good teamwork. On the other hand, if you are pooled, like a cashier inside the bank, everyone deals with a different cashier separately, then just rules and procedures will be enough. And if you are more of a sequential, like the restaurant, everyone depends on the other, then you need to have some sort of good communication and you follow some sort of a process control. Any questions on this chapter?